Chaos Studios here, you know, showcasing Essential once again. Again, it's good to feel like we're in kind of like a good place that we've been in every week now, and we have been on air. We've been on Mixcloud. We've also been on iTunes, as well as finally the YouTube channel has been showcasing the video in case you want to see what we look like.
We are.
Aren't you glad that you tuned in to see what we look like?
I mean, it would be good for people to be able to see Jay's outfits.
Well,
make reference to.
Exactly, but he hasn't worn anything weird today, though.
No.
So that'll be the problem.
I rely on hand-me-downs. Sorry, I'm very proud of whatever I did. Wait, I've actually got this from my granddad's funeral. Buried him in it.
That brought them over there.
The joy and peril of vodcasting is there is a terrible temptation to do product placements.
Yeah.
In the vain hope that you will get some kind of sponsorship.
In the vain hope.
It is really unfortunate though on that.
And that's a Costa Cup.
Yeah. The product placement doesn't work when the words come out in the
No, it's reversed, isn't it? That's
obviously.
Essential.
All right, so here we are. Show number wherever.
5.
Yeah, show number 5. That's right. And we've also advertised this show, so we actually have some comments on our not so private Facebook page, where we said that this week we're going to focus in on the history of the Legion of Superheroes. So I mean, you know, that's going to be what we're going to go through today, and Ian brought in some books, and that's going to lead us into our leaderboard where we'll talk about the Silver Age and everything else like that. And Ian wants to finally talk about Secret Wars that he hasn't read, but he's read now.
I've read.
Yeah, exactly. So he's finally read it. He's finally going to talk about it. Wow.
Because we've been waiting for so long, shall we just start with his in the bag thing? Kind of like.
Well, yeah, let's go for it. Go ahead.
Since you brought it up.
What? No, I said I'd jump over to you.
Mine in the bag?
Yeah.
Right, so
what's in your bag?
We've been talking about the Secret Wars thing.
What's in my bag? Well, let's two definitive comic books, basically. The first one is the Multiversity Guidebook.
Mm-hmm.
I deliberately didn't buy this week one because it's lots of pictures with a little bit of description for $8, which ran out to somewhere around about £6.
Yeah.
So I railed against it and thought, I'm not doing that. Stick it else as a regular price comic and I'll buy it. Then I read a review on Comic Book Resources that said this is possibly the definitive DC comic. I thought, oh, go on then, I'll go at it. And do you know what? This is possibly the definitive Grant Morrison DC comic.
Is it now?
Yeah, it's a comic within a comic, with a guidebook in the middle of it about
the guides of the comic and the characters.
So you've got all these little Martian Manhunters and little Aquamans and little Batmans being slaughtered mercilessly.
Sounds good.
Yeah, like the Lego movie.
The little cartoony ones, and then suddenly Batman, a big robot Batman bursts in, and there's all these savannas,
Bat robot, it doesn't matter, I'm in.
But then one of the Batmans picks up this comic. He picks up this actual comic, and in the ruins of the battle, he picks up this comic.
Does he bend it?
And he does. He's not at all respectful. And he starts to read.
It's funny if you were in it in the comic.
Yeah, that would be worrying.
Just a scout guy just throwing it.
And he opens it up, and there's a double page spread of Commandy and an OMAC and a talking tiger. And the next page is Commandy and the OMAC and the talking tiger that he's reading. You then go into a story where he's reading about it. There are people commenting on it from outside, and then Commandy picks up a comic book that has the history of the DC universe in it. And that DC universe, somebody else picks up, the Batman reads it, and all of a sudden, you've got an entire guide to all 52 universes.
You know what? You're right. That is
genuinely.
comic. And actually, for you, you don't have to go out and pay that 6 or 12.
No, but do it, buy it.
Here's a question. I've just seen Captain Marvel. Is there some kind of satirical link to that?
No, he had his own issue within the
Yeah, right, so
That's coming up. Oh no, that's being...
No, it's being Pax Americana, yeah.
And did that cover the kind of...
Yes, but you can't say Captain Marvel, he's now officially called Shazam.
Yeah.
You'll never hear the word Captain Marvel from DC again, his name is Shazam.
Is that because of the film thing, or...?
Yeah.
Right.
And obviously the rights that Captain Marvel keep from establishing Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So there's that, and that will lead into the launch of DC, relaunch of DC that we really desperately need to talk about because it's incredible.
Yeah.
But the other one, again, a definitive comic book, as definitive comic books as ever get. I was
In your world, yes.
You know what I don't like about Miracle Man? I was talking about the fact that we're treating it too respectfully. This is Miracle Man 15. This is the definitive. What would happen if a superhero was left to stew and become a supervillain for 30 years and never turned back and was the most powerful person on earth and then had to fight against the actual superhero that he was created in the image of? And the answer is he would destroy the entire world in the most graphic, horrible, nasty way possible. This has got everything. You'll read this, if you've never read Miracle Man, you'll read this and you'll look at the Matrix and go, oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you did there, lads.
Yeah.
That's why that was your good film, because you stole it from this.
Yeah.
The subway fight, stolen from this. The idea of superheroes battling each other. The end of Superman, Man of Steel, where they destroy the place. They do that to London. But whereas nobody dies in Man of Steel,
London burning.
there are heads on spikes all over the place. Miracle Man says quite clearly, my apologists say that the first car that I picked up and threw at him was empty. I hate to say it, it wasn't. Miracle Man is above human matters. He will kill people in order to kill him. It's a brilliant, brilliant piece of work.
So is that Miracle Man going bad?
No, Miracle Man is still good, but Miracle Man, at the end of this, Miracle Man is God. My computer just turned off. Miracle Man is now God. He's quite clearly God is not a God, he is God. And I remember I met Neil Gaiman a few times around about this area when it was first published, and I knew Neil a little bit when he first got the Miracle Man gig to follow on from Alan Moore, and my question to him was, how do you write the adventures of God? And he wouldn't tell me, he just said, watch. And the next thing on from here was the Golden Age, then the Silver Age, and then the Dark Age never got published. We're getting to the point where we'll see Neil Gaiman Miracle Man stories that have never been published before within the next year.
Wow.
Alan Moore's, the original writer's spell on this, finished at this point and it became Neil Gaiman after this. This is genius. This is as definitive as comics will ever get.
Well, while you fix on that, let me ask you the definitive question that hopefully will end your tirade on Miracle Man. What you've been saying all along, right, whereas you've been picking up the Miracle Man, you've been saying, how come they're just retreading and they're showing the same old thing and I'm spending money again?
No,
you would have already read.
I was okay with the retread, it was just
No.
They were putting this second
Yeah, but my point is that this sounds like it's completely new and different, finally.
No, it's still the same. I've read this before.
Huh?
I read this 30 years ago. This has not changed, but this is, for anybody who's never read it, this is as good as comics will ever get.
Okay.
This is...
So are you happy then?
Well, I still think...
Happy is such a subjective term.
I know, for real, yes.
Relatively. Yes, even treating this as a museum piece and doing the black and white pages after, which is what my contention was, that works for me. Yeah. And this is still... It's a work of absolute consummate genius. This is as good as you'll get. This one issue is as good as all of Watchmen.
So that's Miracle Man 16?
Miracle Man 15. Buy it.
Alright, Miracle Man 15.
No two ways.
Nice one. While he fixes that, what's in your bag there, James?
My bag this week is just this week's latest wallet based on Spider-Verse. Spider-Man 2099. And the Edge of Spider-Verse Gwen Stacy Spider-Woman.
Another Ian favorite.
Ian favorite. I picked up the Gwen Stacy Spider-Woman. I knew that it's been out for a while, but I've not really read much of it, and I'm not really that fussed about it, to be honest with you.
Oh, wait a minute. You picked it up, but it wasn't that great.
No, I read it. It was.
Well, I'm just saying this. Ian's been talking about since Gwen Stacy Spider-Woman thing.
Yeah.
And I've actually been interested myself. So, what's your recommendation?
I wouldn't say it's bad. I just say I don't think there's anything that leaps out of it that makes me go, yeah, they should base a comic book series on this.
So did she get bitten by the spider or what?
Yeah, she gets bitten by the spider instead. Peter Parker becomes the lizard because he wants to try and keep up, and she dies, and then Captain Stacy goes after her. So it's got the whole
all right,
father hunting.
Well, she got a great fashion sense with that
And
outfit.
she's got a great fashion sense. Well, no, I don't even think.
You don't like the outfit?
Oh, it's
No,
not
I think
it's not
it's
comic outfit straight away?
It's,
That's
I'm just
it.
not. It's just. I don't
Oh,
know.
that's
It's
like
just-
it.
yeah. I'm not like opposed to it. I just don't.
I just think the outfit is a nice outfit. That's
It's
all.
Just no.
It's got a picture of Spider-Man on the outfit, but is that just...
No,
that's her.
That was like a...
That's her.
Yes, please.
It's a fun comic book.
Oh, right, yeah.
I mean, I just sort of like, I think that there's funner comic books out there. I just don't think that it's worth that Spider-Gwen is jumping out as something that should make a series out of at the end of Spider-Verse. I just don't see it.
But they are, and this is the key. Reading a report, I think it was Bleeding Cool yesterday. The fact that Spider-Gwen is going to be running in her own Spider universe, with Captain Stacy clearly still alive,
Yeah.
with alternate versions of Marvel heroes and villains, would indicate that the end of Battleworld isn't one solid universe.
No,
it's not
no,
everything
it's
happens in the same universe.
No, it's going to be a multiverse.
It's gonna be-
What DC's
it's gonna be a
doing.
multiverse.
All Spider-Verse is doing what DC is doing. It's
Yeah.
creating a multiverse.
But I just like to quickly mention Spider-Man 2099, which I really did enjoy.
Yes, excellent.
The steampunk Lady Spider.
I would want to see more of that.
Yeah, going up against her version of the Sinister
Yeah.
Six, I thought was absolutely amazing.
Isn't he going up against Maestro as well?
But not in this way.
Oh,
so
okay.
going up against
No,
Maestro,
Maestro.
but you've got like the steampunk Doc Ock and steampunk Green Goblin. And I do like Miguel O'Hara. I think I really think he's a good
I've never
character.
read him until now.
But I
You
read
read 2099?
I have,
2099.
I've got the first copy of 2099 from when it was released.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, granted, it was very it was very of its age, big hair,
Oh, yeah.
shirt all over. But I really like the concept of what they were putting forward to Spider-Man 2099, differentiating it enough, but keeping.
Yeah.
something
I like the fact that Miguel O'Hara, it signifies like two different cultures. You got Miguel, it's
Right.
Spider-Man O'Hara, which is Irish, and it's good to
Yeah.
put in that direction.
Yeah, I think
But is this after Spider-Verse now?
this is in Spider-Verse. This is
Oh,
Which
still
is
Spider-Verse.
I think it's
It's
on the
Spider-Man,
week of
yeah.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah, and they've got the big spider robot that get fixed right at the end that got damaged. Like, I love that.
Oh god, it's Shogun
Yeah.
Warriors.
Yeah, Shogun Warriors.
Also, it's kind of like the Japanese Spider-Man TV series from the 80s.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah,
It's
that,
that.
that's
Is that what it is?
That is that character in Spider-Verse.
Oh, what's the honest?
Yeah, no, you can apologise. But yeah, I'd say out of the polls I've brought in, I've got that. The Spider-Man 29 is a good read, and
So there's hope that Nicholas Hammond will end up in the Spider-Man comic.
I really think.
It's hopeless.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What you'll see in the comic books is just this piece of rope come flying in that's about that thick. I just come in and I just see a guy swinging in like Tarzan.
A guy crawling across the floor.
Just
Running across the floor and going like, oh wow, this
Do you know the story about that? It was because they had one Spider-Man costume which was fitted for Nicholas Hammond, who was like 5'10", but the stuntman was 6'3", and the producer said, "You added the tights on this and you're dead." You have to go round like the Kenny Everett Spider-Man. That's exactly it.
Oh God, we're filming it.
That's that is
Someone nearly died there.
Yeah, I just love those production mistakes. Okay, Jamie, what's in your bag?
Well, Ian has let me have these, which was very nice of him.
Since you brought nothing
Secret
yourself.
stash.
Yes, it's a secret stash.
Tell us all about these comics, Jamie.
Well, I mean, I particularly like this comic cover a bit. What I like is it was published 11 years before I was born,
Yeah.
which, you know, it's fantastic. But no, actually, I do love the Legion of Superheroes. I prefer the, Teen Titans, as it went on, but this was kind of like a good predator to it, wasn't
Well,
it?
yeah, I mean, that was before Wolfman did the reinvention of Teen Titans. There had been the Teen Titans, the Bob Haley version in the 60s,
Yeah.
which is a great sort of pop art collision.
Yeah.
But this, you kind of had the Legion of Superheroes was a new teenage thing, and then Teen Titans, the Wolfman Perez version came after that. Wolfman Perez was like the early 80s.
I like the depiction of Superboy actually being more 70s. the Superman who...
Well, yeah, well, look at the mutton chops on them there. I mean, it is 70s. I mean, what you actually holding there is the 70s version of the Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. So, I mean, we're going to talk about the Legion today, but that's when Superboy be more aggressive because he got an aggressive character of Wildfire who wanted to be in charge, and he's like, who's this guy from the past? You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like that was one of those.
It's kind of strange. It's kind of like the opposite to the Terminator. You know, the Terminator is sent a massive robot, a futuristic robot, go back in time to actually kill everyone. In Legion of Superheroes, they drag someone from the past to come into the future.
Well,
that's one of the things.
But they drag their influence, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was the inspiration for them as heroes anyway. So because, I mean, it was like, you know, the late 50s into the 60s, so he was representing, you know, sort of a counterculture to teens that were like wild and rebellious at that time. So what they were doing, what they were saying, hey, let's go get a heroic teenager who represents who we want to be, the best that we want to be, and bring them into the future.
It's just that, I mean, if he did that with Abraham Lincoln, kind of like went back in time and got Abraham Lincoln, he was a good representative of the time, and he was a good person.
Well, Bill and Ted did that.
Bill and Ted did that. And don't get me wrong, they did a brilliant rendition of Kiss, you know, God Save
I love that song.
I mean, Napoleon.
Can I just put my hands in the air and say Argent? Argent.
From Teen Titans?
No. Argent did God Save Rock and Roll. Kiss covered it years later.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
It's Argent, it's not Argent.
Yeah, no, okay, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so...
There's always somebody before.
Don't invite pedants. If you don't want to be pedantic.
Is that all you've got in your bag then, JD?
Well, yes, but you know, it's...
Yeah, that's cool.
It's plentiful, you know.
Yeah.
Well, so kind of like Jamie, you know, I got stuck borrowing from Ian too. But reason why I was going to go last, because I didn't know Jamie was going to do it, but it was going to lead us into the topic of our leaderboard. So, I mean, since we've already talked about the Legion, we kind of like prefaced them. It's Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. Now, I picked out these two in particular because what I wanted to talk about was
Read the other one, thank you.
is that on the first page of this particular issue is a black-skinned man who is a one-time only villain that was put into this story, but he's also, it just represents kind of like, what? You know, because you got to think that this is issue 228, and this is like, help me out, there's like 1970, I believe, right?
75.
75, which means
it's weird because that starts off as Superboy, then becomes Superboy starring the Legion of Superheroes, and Superboy and then just becomes Legion by the time you get to the next.
Well, yeah. That's all the changes and retcons. But what I was going to say was that so the Legion of Superheroes has been around for about a good 15 years, and by the 70s, like by 1970, what had happened was Paul Levitz was now in charge. Just as Ian was like, I was talking to Ian about this before, you know, the Legion was invented by, you know, Jim Shooter, who was around, what, 15? Was it?
Well, Shooter wrote the Legion. I think the Legion comes from the late 50s, and, you know, the
it
stories
was like around
like
55, yeah.
Carrie Bates.
Carrie Bates, that's right, Carrie Bates. Carrie Bates and Kurt Swan.
Yeah, certainly Kurt Swan done work on it.
Yeah.
Shooter got his break by writing Legion stories when he
Because
was 14, 15 years old, which is ridiculous.
Well, but it also was the fact that these guys, these old young guys, they say, look, we're going to do a teenage, you know, stories and stuff, and we'll get you
Kerry Bates became the showrunner on the Superboy TV series, the Soul Kind, and he wrote the Superman the New Movie, which was...
Yeah. Well, no, exactly. But, I mean, what I was going to say was about the Legion is that it's a great idea, you know. I mean, at the time, you know, it was like, okay, teenagers, as I was just saying before about the rebellion and the period of the times, it's like, let's go into the future where everything is better. You know, and so we're in a whole idyllic universe, and everything is all like sparkling clean, and teenagers are heroes. They're doing good deeds, they're doing good things. And they're even named like Cosmic Boy and Lightning Lad and Saturn Girl. And you know, it was like, you could tell in a way, you know, there's some kid probably going, hey, yeah, man, this is character, that's not character.
Balancing Boy.
bouncing boy, yeah, a guy who transforms into
I think
a ball.
that the reason childhood obesity is such a problem these days.
It's because of bouncing boy?
It's perfectly okay, look.
Yeah, no, exactly. But, you know, what I was going to say about this issue, then get into Legion is that I did a podcast about, you know, like black superheroes, and even though I'm rereading the books, because that's what they used to do, that, you know, like they come out and they bring them out again and stuff. So I love the Legion, you know, but then again, that representation of the black superhero wasn't in the future.
What was it
It's like, wasn't in this idyllic reality.
But they did have, the Legion did have almost every other colour going.
Yeah, so that's why I picked this one out, because it has all these, green, yellow, all these other representations, but then nobody with black skin. And, you know, it was like nobody even actually complained until, you know, Paul Levitz was called in, you know, and he was like, hey, look, you know, we got to do something about this. And he created the superhero character of Tyrock. Yeah. And his whole thing was that, yeah, there are black people in the future in the 30th century. They're just all on the island that is in another dimension.
Because that makes sense. That makes sense. Segregation is so much more important.
I'm telling you, I am not making this up. So you've heard of Brigadoon, right?
We'll have this Griffin survived into the
Hey, you know.
It sounds a little less like Brigadoon than Johannesburg, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I was trying to be facetious. Because they do actually, the island actually does go through a vortex. But, you know, I wish you would have brought that cover, because that would have been funny to see with Tyrod saying, get on my land!
Did you ever hear Richard Pryor when he said that? I went to see Logan's Run, he said there wasn't one black person in the future.
Yeah.
He said the planet must not be in there.
Yeah.
Which was sad, but...
No, it is. But, so, anyway, Levin started to write Tyrod, and this character called Daragon, you know, he also started to be proactive and said, hey, look, I'll make a black villain, you know, not because there's nothing wrong with that, but I'll just do that just so that way we can start seeing some more black faces in the future.
So what was that like to you as a kid when you'd see a black super? Was it like, did you think...
Well, see, obviously, because I was a kid, right, I'm not thinking in that mentality of like, you know, hey, I don't see myself, but I don't. You know, even Chameleon Boy is orange.
Yeah.
You know? I did. So I didn't think anything of it.
We have Colour Kid, whose real name is Ulu Vat.
Colour Kid.
He's Colour Kid. He's an Legion substitute heroes. Yeah. He was assisting in an experiment when a ray of multicoloured light, all light's multicoloured, that's what light is, from another dimension struck him. This gave him the ability to change the colour of anything at will.
See,
but obviously he is a white kid.
Yeah, he's a white kid though.
Yeah, but with him, you can't. It's so like colorblind. It doesn't make any difference if he sees two people fighting. He can just make the other person. And kind of like that. Well, now how do you like it?
Yeah,
like he's bringing racial harmony.
I bet you
did. Well, yeah, but also we've also talked about my favorite Legionnaire was Karate Kid, and me and he was talking about that. But they didn't even bother to make him Asian. You know, Chinese or Japanese. They just
kung fu.
Yeah. A white guy with mutton chops who do kung fu. So it was like that. But anyway, so Silver Age, top of the leaderboard. You know, pretty much. You know, the reason why I wanted to talk about the Legion was because Ian had put out this article from Bleeding Cool talking about what's happening now. This is still in the rumor mill, right? But TBS, I think it is put together a Legion of Superheroes TV show, live action, and everything, and you know, they're still in the discussion and the idea stage and showrunner stage of it. And I just thought that it might have been interesting to kind of like, you know, banter that around and see, like, how would you do it? You know, like we have 40 years of Legion, right? Which you guys probably, you know, don't know all of 40-year history, but we have all this period of Legion. So what do you think they should do? So what I said to Ian was Smallville did a fantastic job, right? You know, where they brought in the Trinity, and he said, who's that?
No, I knew who the Trinity were, but I didn't know who Smallville used as Trinity.
Well, Smallville did really well with the heroes, I thought, when they were so
Did you see it?
I watched all Smallville.
Because you said you saw it as well. I mean, so would you say that they did justice?
I think they did it justice. I think they did they did a really good job with it. And it's sort of, but my whole thing, the reason why I think it worked so well is because it was just, they were only in it for what, there were 4
I think it
episodes.
was 2.
There were 2 episodes, I
It was
think
2
there were 4
episodes.
episodes in total which had
Right.
them, but it was small doses, you know, and you put, I'm just hesitant about a legion of superheroes, all these teenagers in a room fighting heroes and it not turning into the Tomorrow People or Roswell or Beverly Hills 90210.
No, but yeah,
Just so,
but you're talking about.
oh, hormones, he fancies her, and it's 22nd, 24th century, and we have all these 24 still teenage. Don't care.
Yeah, but you're talking about like, you know, when Warner Brothers or Fox have dared to make what they considered superhero shows. But now that we got success with Marvel and with DC and all of that kind of stuff, I think it's now the perfect time, because Teen Titans is happening, but we're talking about Legion right now. It's the perfect time to do a Legion because there is so much scope, you know, with effects, you know, graphics that we can do. You know, when they did Smallville, that was like about, what, 3 years ago when the Legion was on it? So it was like, this could be interesting, but they only had the eggs in the one Superman basket.
Yeah.
You know, where, you know, Superman.
So they were because they were throwing in Wonder Twins, Supergirl. They were throwing everybody in that show.
Well,
Justice Society. They threw everybody in Smallville.
I just think it's an awful lot. That whole show premise. There's better heroes that are probably more of a sure, safe bet of kind of like rolling out. And a Legion of Superheroes might work in a TV series, but like, you know, do Supergirl first and have the Legion introduced through Supergirl instead of
Yeah, they are those
So
Supergirl.
have the Legion come in through that, not just straight away go, we're doing a Legion of Superheroes. Test the water with it. I think the time and money that they'd spend on doing that could be better spent on doing a proper Nightwing program, or, you know, put Batman in a suit and have him weekly. Do something with a comic book.
Yeah, but it's ownership, isn't it? It's ownership, isn't it? I mean, you know, they can't do Batman or.
But even, okay, then if they don't do that, I'd rather see any of the Martian Manhunter. I'd rather see a story.
Who also was on Smallville.
If they can't do the super hit Superman coming from Earth and the Orphan on a mysterious planet, growing up and doing it, do the Martian Manhunter. He comes down. He's sort of like becomes a policeman, does the shapeshifting thing. Have him dealing with humanity. Maybe bring the Legion of Superheroes through that way. But I think there's more of an interesting story plot and more interesting use of budget doing the Martian Manhunter, for instance, than doing the Legion of Superheroes. Cartoon. Legion of Superheroes is a cartoon. I like
it was a cartoon. It had two series of a cartoon already on the Cartoon Network and stuff. Go ahead, Jimmy.
I fear overkill with the Superman brand because as well as Man of Steel, the films, and Supergirl, the Legion of Superheroes, there's also the Krypton TV series that's being planned.
I think that's a terrible idea.
I wouldn't, that's, you know, it's kind of, it's like watching a Bond prequel thing about what is that?
No, but it's just a terrible idea. I mean, it was really successful with Man of Steel to, you know, the world that they created and everything. And I'm sorry, it blew up. But that doesn't mean go back. Oh, let's go back even before Clark was conceived. Let's go to Jor-El's father and everything else like that. So it just is like, you
part
know.
of Superman's charm and as paradoxical as the human side as well, how he's sort of an alien relationship with people level. And how he was being brought up amongst us, but he's different from us.
But the thing that I'm really worried about the whole Krypton thing is in Gotham they have all the, you know, they can make these kind of, it's 20 years, something's going to happen in 20 years to make that, so they can do nods like, oh, there's Bruce Wayne hanging on a building, oh, there's that. What are they going to do in Krypton? It's like 50 years. Oh, we better not do this, otherwise the planet might explode in 50 years. Oh, we better not do, that ship looks good, but it'll take us 50 years to develop it. You know, all these nods are going to be completely worthless. There's not going to be anything for comic book people to kind of like.
No. I mean, it's a total bad idea. I think that'll just die in development hell. But I mean, so anyway, back to the Silver Age, it's like, you know, so I mean, in the good stuff around the Legion and looking at doing it. I mean, even though the picture that they had up was kind of like the 80s version of the Legion, you know. I mean, they did some really good stuff. So I mean, like out of the 50s when they first were created, I mean. You know, if we go all the way back to the beginning when they had like jetpacks and stuff and flight belts and everything, you know. No, they didn't have rings in the beginning. No, they had flying belts and jetpacks and stuff in the beginning. And it wasn't until Brainiac 5 came along that they had the flight rings. But anyway, so then they expanded out, you know, and they just kind of like grabbed people from all over the place, which was a way of showing unity, which was also a good thing. You know, young people working together. They didn't really have too many like bad guys. I mean, we had the Fatal Five. You had the Fatal Five. You had the Kuns.
Well, Brainiac wasn't it?
Well, no.
The Star Eater. The Star Eater was the biggie, wasn't he? Yeah.
Oh, Sun Eater.
The
Sun Eater. Yeah. Who killed Feral Lad, by the way? The first death.
The first superhero death. But there is a way to do Legion of Superheroes, and we make it work brilliantly. And that is to have a small established group of superheroes, which is your Trinity plus one or two others. If you want to base it on somebody who escaped from Krypton, then you use Mon-El. Because Mon-El was one of the greatest characters in it anyway. Here's your Superman avatar straight away without using the word Superman. Here's Mon-El.
Well, they ended up calling him Valor now. Valor, and they changed him in around like the late 90s to the millennium. What they did was in one of the retreads because they got tired of the Mon-El because it was stupid, like in the 50s. Yeah. You know, he landed in Smallville and everything, and because he had the same powers as Clark, and he thought he was his distant cousin or something like that. You know,
when everybody who landed in Smallville was related and was from Krypton.
Of course, obviously, it's like the soul.
The way you do it, you take that small focus group who are the Legion of Superheroes. In fact, there's only 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah.
And then you do everything else as Game of Thrones. In the way that Daenerys Targaryen has spent 5 seasons trying to get 200 yards closer to where everybody else is. You do that with Shadow Lass or Chameleon Boy, and you have their lives up there, so it doesn't need to be 38 superheroes.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think that's a really good idea.
The main story that you have, like, let's say each one, it's like 5 different stories in one. And one of those stories is the main villain, is sort of like the Sun Eater, for instance, planning.
But even then, it doesn't need to be a main villain. It can be this whole series. Your story is a season-long arc, and the way Game of Thrones has no main story.
At
the moment you thought,
really a good idea.
That's the main story. They did the Red Wedding and went, there you go, lads. That wasn't the main story. You don't know what the main story is.
Yeah,
I think that's really good, because even though you got the evil Universal with a monocle, he was like, but he was also one of the heroes' secret father and stuff. Or you even had like R.J. Brand, who was Chameleon Boy's father. So you do have that kind of drama in a soapy kind of way.
Sort of.
Exactly.
You can't have that in that whole thing, and fair play to him. But I don't think they're going to go at Game of Thrones.
I just think it's a great idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah, I commit to Game of Thrones because it's sort of like everything about it is like the language and all the story plots are so. I want to find out more about
because it's political drama.
And that's it.
And it's also trusting that character.
That's not what the Legion of Superheroes is going to be pitched at. The Legion of Superheroes is going to be pitched at 12 to 19 years old, kind of like, but lots of people who like the Flash will like the Legion. And so the reason we do that, so each single
why do you say 12 to 19? Oh, 19. I mean, it's that teen market that they have with Beverly Hills. Remember, this is TNT.
Beverly Hills wasn't a good thing.
No, I'm just talking about the teen.
Tell my wife Beverly Hills wasn't a good thing.
The place
she loves it.
No, I'm just meaning like the tween market. I don't know if Legion will go for that market that you just said about the 12 to 19. Because one is the channel is TNT, which is an old man's channel, first of all. But they do like a lot of westerns and Big Valley kind of stuff. But it would be going young, skewing young, having kids with powers, relating to kids with powers, having that whole identity problem and issues and everything. It's going to be that. Twilight superpowers.
And I hate to say this, I don't like the Twilight. I don't think that anything that the Legion of Superheroes, if they do a TV series, I don't think I am that market that's going to be going for it. If it brings people into the comic book world and go, I want to learn more about Superman and the other characters, great. I've got loads of material for them. But I think Legion of Superheroes is something that I'm probably going to be missing up.
You're the one who always says, hey, if it's superheroes, I'll buy it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, I mean, in my head, I just don't see the Legion of Superheroes.
I'm open if a scene it's fantastic, I'll say, I was wrong, but I'm pretty much the same. It doesn't fill me with
excitement.
I'm more looking forward to seeing the actor. The Ray Palmer, that outfit, I'm looking forward to seeing Ray Palmer.
For some of those who are spoilers.
No, that was a picture. There's a picture on News.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I'm
He's showing up in the Flash in the issue, like when they had Raven Bow with Flash and Arrow. It's gonna be called All Star Team Up or something.
Do you know? I'm just liking that. That stuff I can get into, and it's just taking an hour. It's a long time to. It's not a long time to do much justice to a team that's got so much backstory as the Legion of Superheroes, and they never really hit Superman.
Well, all right. Well,
I've given them the way to do it. But on the back of that, then, can I divert this to comics?
Yeah.
Because while we're on the subject, we need to talk DC. We need to talk the DC mini relaunch, which isn't a mini relaunch.
The Convergence.
It's the most brilliant relaunch. Convergence is just a filling. That's a filling for the move from New York to Burbank, and is nothing else. It's not really going to impinge because what happens afterwards is brilliant. This relaunch, has anyone seen the details of the relaunch yet?
You talking about like We Are Grayson and all of that kind of stuff?
We are Robin.
Oh, We Are Robin.
We are Robin.
We Are Robin.
I have details. I made notes.
As long as
I saw that on Bleeding Cool.
As long as none of them are just Sweet Robin or something like that.
Just Sweet Robin.
Just Sweet Robin.
No, this is
Robin.
potentially the idea of the New 52. The New 52 banner it's gone. So we basically got DC finishes. You have Convergence, and the idea of Convergence is it's going to be stories from the old DC universes across 3 weeks, and it is purely to facilitate the move from New York to Burbank. That's all it's for. It's a fill-in. It's like, here's the catalogue that we've got. Right, we can move this way now, lads. And then
we cannot be asked working for this 3 weeks, so we're just going to.
No, it's purely the logistics of what they publish while they're making the move, and then afterwards you've got the DC universe, basically. Not relaunching, not rebooting, but definitely relaunching and rebooting. The New 52 is going. There are 48 titles. 24.
Why? Because they didn't want 52?
Possibly, but they haven't been published in 52 for a while. 24 are there. There are 24 new titles coming out. Some are ongoing, some are miniseries. But what you've got is, you've got Brian Hitch doing JLA. Ooh. Brian Hitch, who basically created the idea of the widescreen superhero, with his work on Authority and then Ultimates. You've got him doing JLA, writing and illustrating it.
Which version of JLA is he doing though?
By the picture they've seen today, the classic version but with Cyborg, so classic plus Cyborg.
Why?
So
why?
the film version.
Cyborg is Teen Titans.
Cyborg
is Teen Titans. Let me say it again. Cyborg is Teen Titans.
But he's in the Batman vs Superman film.
No, man.
Can I ask why they brought Cyborg? What do you?
Because he's black.
But there's other heroes he could have picked.
Yeah. John Stewart.
Who?
John Stewart.
They could have, but they haven't.
No, they went with Cyborg, and it may be because they felt they needed a black hero in there. It may be because of his role in the Flashpoint story, and it may be there's a chance to graduate somebody from Teen Titans to JLA.
Well,
I think he's a poor character for JLA. I thought he was great in Teen Titans.
Yeah.
But you've got, so it looks like Hitch is doing that version of JLA. He'll do the film version, but Hitch has been working on this for 2 years. Because obviously Hitch isn't the quickest artist on there,
No.
because he's meticulous. He's been working on it for 2 years. You've got Hitch doing JLA, which is going to be fantastic. There's a new verb. We've invented a new verb in the last week. DC have invented a new verb. Batgaling. They're going to Batgale the entire universe. Batgaling, as in Batgale. The way they've revamped Batgirl to a younger, hipper, sharper, pop art audience. That's Batwoman.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
But we'll come back to that. Batwoman's gone, but this is important.
Your version of it was just making everyone gay.
We'll coming back to that as well. So DC are going to Batgirl everything. So you get a younger, hipper audience. And what this is all based on, apparently, is the importance of the editor, Mark Doyle. They took Mark Doyle from Vertigo, basically to keep Scott Snyder happy on Batman. So, on Batman, Scott Snyder's editor jumped ship and went to Marvel. Marvel headhunted him. So, they took the guy who'd edited American Vampire Fun and brought him over to DC as the editor of the Batline. And he was responsible for Batgirl going to a younger, sharper audience, that little bit of a reboot. So they're basically going to reinvent the DC market in the same way he has. They said this morning the story will trump continuity. They're not bothered about the 50 years continuity. They just want good stories. So you've got coming up a more pop culture based DC. You've got a DC Comics line that's basically going to appeal to a younger audience. They're basically remarketing everything. They're not saying we're remounting, they're just going to tell good
They've
stories.
done that before, though. Why? I mean, they've done that before.
Well, I thought there was
I thought they were going back to Silver
with the
Age.
new 52 stuff.
It was done badly, wasn't
There
it?
was stuff
Oh,
that was
it's
done badly, but I liked the new Batman. I loved the Court of Owls. I thought the Court of Owls was one of the best kind of like storylines to bring it in.
But then it got very boring after about 15 issues.
But I still really enjoyed it. I loved the Death of the Family.
Death of the Family was great, but
So
after
that's
that, it's
before
like,
that.
do you know what, Year Zero, I'm not bothered about.
Year Zero wasn't that fussed about. But I liked what Scott Snyder did. I don't get why they have to rebrand
But they're
it.
not reinventing and revamping or rebranding Batman. It's all the other stuff around it. So you've
Well,
got
what's We Are Robin then? What is that?
We Are Robin is a group of kids, all of whom have been Robin at some point. And these are the kids on the streets of Gotham. How many Robins have there been?
Four.
And all the other alternates.
Jason.
The girl who was Robin in Dark Knight. You throw in every Robin ever.
character,
And you have Robin as an inspirational character. We
And
don't
they
know what
inspire
did it yet,
regular
but
kids
We
to
Are
be
Robin
Robin.
looks like it's you look at the graphics, it's a street art.
Isn't it Brian Azzarello or something?
I
Or
can't
that?
remember. But you've got We Are Robin, which looks really sharp straight off. Batmite. They're actually
What?
They're doing a Batmite
Alright,
limited
your
series.
conversation's over.
Why not? They're doing
Why?
Prez.
Who?
Prez.
Prez from the.
But it looks like it's a teenage girl with a big robot. So they're launching that as, you know what? You don't need to know who Prez is
I know
from the late
Prez.
60s. Prez from the late 60s was great in gaming, used him in Sandman as well.
Please don't tell me they're gonna bring US1 then.
I know, but you've got Prez. They're going to do Bizarro World
I
miniseries.
heard that.
They're doing Section 8.
Section 8.
Section 8. No one?
Yeah, I know, we had the thing, wasn't it?
Oh.
Well, go on, you can
Hitman. They're,
Oh,
they're the superhero group from Hitman. I was trying to explain this to my wife this morning and showing her the John McCrae art.
Yeah.
There was a superhero group in Hitman called Section 8. The main leader was Six-Pack, whose main ability was to get bladdered on 10 and extra strength. The best character in it was Dog Welder. Do you know what he did?
Well, dogs.
He welded dogs to things.
Okay.
It's Garth Ennis and it's John McCrae, and it's like, do you know what, lads? Just tell a stupid story, and they'll tell a stupid story, and they'll do it brilliantly. They're doing Black Canary. Brendan Fletcher, who's done Batgirl, is doing Black Canary as a kind of rock star Black Canary and taking it down to a street level sort of Black Canary. This is what Black Canary could be to this generation, not necessarily our generation.
Yeah.
This generation. This is DC going, do you know what? Do anything.
This one, because his mum came from Scotland when she was like 3 and she moved to America.
It's a question.
You've got people who understand the relevance of that character, writing that character. DC, this could be the making of DC. This explodes DC.
Well, okay, here's a question. What if that doesn't happen? What if it's badly received and it doesn't sell as well? What would happen then? Because
Then you book it.
They just, well, yeah, because if that failed in the cinematic universe that the building didn't take off in the way that they're hoping for, do you know what I mean? It'd be nice that they had like a
It doesn't sound like it connects at all with the DC
Yes.
cinematic universe or the DC
But it
TV.
can do.
Yeah.
Because all you need Black Canary to just be interesting. You've got Black Canary and Green Arrow. Here's Black Canary. And she's more connected to that Black Canary than this Oliver Queen is to that Oliver Queen. Because straight away you've got that, and you've got Cyborg up there, you've got Cyborg in JLA written by Hitch, who looks like big superheroes, and you've got Cyborg as a character here. And when has Cyborg ever been a character? When's he been a living, breathing human being?
He's always just been a guy in
a metal suit.
Yeah.
And Midnighter.
Well, Midnighter, that's interesting to bring Midnighter in because, ever since, those guys been brought into the DC universe and everything, but Midnighter without Apollo, I don't know what's going to happen with that, but yeah,
You've got the potential for DC basically taking Marvel's thunder away from the summer in terms of comics.
Well, we'll see.
I'm going to sort of like hold my bets on. I mean,
I'm not impressed either.
I enjoyed the books that DC have done. They appeal to me. They're cross-generational, I think, from my perspective. The way that you're making it out, it seems that they kind of like go, well, that audience is growing up and aren't buying books anymore, so let's try and get young
For a new,
But they can get the young audience and us because I loved Spider-Gwen. This is 24 comics of Spider-Gwen, basically. This is radical for DC, and obviously 2 years in the planning.
What I'd love to see is kind of like doing something like Marvel did. If they want to, we can take something Marvel did and we do like a, what was it, the Marvel, there's like a Max series that they did.
Yeah,
you know, and
with
they,
Punisher and
Marvel Max, yeah.
they get the older, more, you know, Neil Gaiman, so like writing proper kind of like adult themed stories about these ones, and you've got something that's kind of like, something that people like me will miss out on because of probably not going to pick up the new rebrand.
There'll be a Batman will still be there in the same shape. See,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's going to still be, he's going to be there because they're saying we're not going to mess with Batman, but we'll mess with everybody else. You know, I mean, and that's the only thing. You know, this is what they're doing. I mean, nothing we can do about it. I just thought that, like, you know, well, you anyway, I guess, are men of a certain age, and you know, we enjoy the Silver Age and we enjoy the comics, and then when you guys are of another certain age, you know, you still tap into that era of books. So there was something about the characters in their originality when they were created, and even though, you know, you got people like Superman and Batman who have been around since the 30s, you know what I mean, that are still being reinvented today. There's something about that, you know, there's something about that, and I mean, it sounds like a radical change, but it's a radical change that thinks that it's moving with the internet teen cyber generation.
That's my
But it's
reading.
radical to me because I'm still reading books. They're thinking people like us, is what I'm trying to say. They're thinking people like us are not reading the books anymore.
No.
And they want to cater to the ones who are. That's what I think they're doing. And that's what I think they're
what they
going
seem
on.
to be doing is just saying, look, do anything you want, just tell the stories.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I mean, they're not taking it to a point that people like us are having our children read. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm just trying to say. They're not taking that into account.
But they're going to radicalise Black Canary, which we wouldn't buy.
Yeah.
And Prez, which we wouldn't buy.
Yeah.
And Batmite and Bizarro.
And don't forget Sleepwalker and the
I think that we've got to kind of be moving on. I think it'll be interesting.
It is. Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Come on, how hard is it for me to be this happy about things?
This is why
It's very that's why he's talking so long, because we know if he's excited, there must be something we're missing.
Yeah, no, I'm really concerned about it. If it's making him happy, then it's like the greatest thing that's ever going to happen. Or it doesn't be
The world's going to implode. The Mayans were just a bit off.
Yeah.
The minds are spot on.
Yeah, just a bit.
It wasn't 2012.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to bring something up in a plan.
Right, go on,
The Daredevil trailer.
Yes.
Boom!
Fantastic, isn't it?
Take my money. I'm a Netflix subscriber
Oh, yeah.
anyway. I would instantly kind of like just.
And we get the whole series on the same day.
Do we though? Because
Yes.
Netflix.
Yeah, we do.
Because Netflix did with Better Call Saul, they're doing that weekly.
They confirmed
Well, Better Call Saul,
Daredevil will be one day.
the zero episode is out now, but the binge is not.
Better Call
Saul's tonight, isn't it?
Yeah. That's why I'm saying the zero.
But Vincent D'Onofrio was Will Smith's first the Kingpin.
But you only saw.
Well, yeah, but the only thing was that I was gonna say Hellcat.
Yes, Hellcat.
Okay.
Hellcat, quite definitely. Jessica Jones, Patsy Walker, Hellcat. Even the alcohol and Trish.
I love the whole fact that it kind of. I just think that whole. There wasn't too much given about it.
Yeah.
But it had all the elements in it that I wanted to see in it.
I didn't like the teaser though. I thought it was just like that. You know what I mean? It was him walking down the hall talking.
Well, that's what a teaser's meant to do. It's meant to inspire you to wait for the
It
longest.
didn't inspire me to do anything. I would rather him walking down the hall and then cut to an effect of what his radiation vision radar sensors
Did you
sees.
see that though in the teaser?
No,
The second one was
The second one.
Yeah. Have you seen two of both of them?
the second one,
Yeah.
with the
teaser.
These are leaders in this.
where he gives his confession. So they get that tone right away.
Yeah.
I'm not confessing to something I've done. What I'm about to do.
Yeah. And it's just that there's that there's the scene where he's just got loads of blood going up, so you know they're not parring
They're not
it
messing
down
around.
a little bit.
I like that they gone with the ninja look for the early. Well, Frank
Yeah.
Miller retconned the Denny's.
Right, yeah.
got rid of the-
Also, the good death of the child being
Yeah.
Hulk kind of like look as
Yeah,
well.
which was
And Stick is clearly in it as well.
And Stick is good.
Yes.
Stick looks awesome.
Yes.
I am.
Played by Scott Glenn.
And
Well, Scott Glenn.
Scott Glenn is playing Stick.
Oh,
You didn't know that?
no, I didn't realise.
Yeah, Scott Glenn playing Stick.
but yeah, so
Right, James.
I do think that you're completely spot on. It's looking really good. Like,
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that more than Batman versus Superman, being perfectly honest.
I'm not. I'm looking forward to that something more. I'm still going to be on there with. You know, I mean, you know, we've still got another year to wait, and we've really not seen anything of that.
You know, this is ridiculous, but the fact that Superman doesn't wear underpants is. I spent at least 25 minutes watching Man of Steel thinking, you know, it must be cold. Right,
He's wearing a Kryptonian.
Yeah, Kryptonian
He's
body
wearing
armor.
a Kryptonian body armor from an intergalactic thing. What makes you think that it isn't super insulated? It's a spacesuit.
it just looks to me like I got changed to the phone box and forgot to put them on, you know, that kind of thing.
But even, what's he supposed to say if he actually gets into a phone box and gets changed? So he puts them on outside. Well, that just shows that's just sloppy Carl.
Yeah.
Speaking of, just a little bit of a hobby, did you see the re-edited version of Superman 2?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
With that little 3-minute clip
That's fantastic, yeah.
with Lois Lane?
Yeah, and the
Man, too. What do you mean?
No, there's somebody sort of re-edited version of Superman 2.
Merv Jones, he gave me the TV cut of Superman 2 from 1984.
Not that one, I'm not talking about.
No, I'm sorry, yeah, but well, I'll come back to that.
No, it's just like somebody's re-edited Superman 2 and it starts off in that scene, you know, when that man falls and he puts his hand in.
Oh, yeah.
And she goes, you're Superman, he goes, yes. And it's time I showed you everything. And then it cuts to the first scene in the first one where they're flying over Metropolis and she slips and lets it go. But he just lets it go and the next clip is just with smiling and it's just how he deals with Lois Lane to go. It's worth watching.
All right. So anyway, we're gonna have to end it now because maybe we spend a lot of time talking about something. But that was really good episode there talking about the Silver Age. Ian, I know, is like, hey, he did all his research on the
Convergence.
No, but he also did the research on Secret Wars and everything. But we'll get that.
2 years of comics.
I know. We'll get to your 2-year history of comics next week. Like 2 years of comics in like a weekend or something.